tell me a little bit more about kind of the decision point where you were like, oh, you found us on TikTok, like how much time went by before you were like, okay, I'm gonna try this? And was this like identity crisis? Did it happen before you decided, or did it happen as you were deciding? Like, I think a lot of people probably listening are struggling with like, how do I know I'm making the right choice? So I would love to hear about like, did you resolve the identity crisis, or at least experience it for a certain period of time before you took the leap? Or were you like taking the leap and then that triggered the identity crisis? Like how did that look in terms of your experience?
Yeah, so it was a slow process. I think that I found UX while I was still in grad school, and then I worked for that theater company for close to 6 months after that, and then really I'd say it was like October of 21 that I really started looking at it more seriously and thinking like, okay, what am I going to do to get out of this 12 to 14 hour day job, and it was December. We had come home for Christmas. My wife and I had poured over like all the TikTok content that we possibly could find about UX and everything that Avocademy had to offer. We went on the website, and we spent a few days kind of toying with the idea, and then we talked to my older sister about it. And family's a big thing for me. It's very important. And my older sister just said, after telling her the whole story and everything, she was just like, well, what's stopping you? And I was like, well, I don't know. It's like, it costs money and stuff. And she's like, but in the long scheme of life, like what's that? And like, if it gets you a career where you're making twice as much money as you are now for half the hours, and it seems worth the shot, for the price point. And I was like, you're right. I think you're right. And that night, we had a couple cocktails and we were all talking and it was the holidays and stuff. And at the end of the night, my wife and I were sitting on the couch and we were talking and connecting about it. And we pulled up the registration form and I said, are we doing this? Am I going to do this? And she said, I think we're doing it. And it was one of those things where it wasn't it wasn't, I'm doing this. Am I going to do this? It was we the whole time. And so depending on an individual situation, I really relied on my family and I really relied on my partner to help me make that decision. Yeah. It didn't happen overnight. It was something that came over time. And I think with anybody that's going through a career transition, the identity crisis stuff, it does happen for me, it happened before, during, and after. I'm still very much going through it in my day-to-day life at work. I'll say stuff like, oh, well, when I was doing theater, or back in my theater life, my previous life, I say it all the time, so it's not something that goes away. I think it's something that that grows with you,
Yeah.